Hi, I'm Dana, and you're joining me today while I get ready for a date, so I'm gonna completely ignore you for a lot of it and do my makeup. And I thought it'd just be fun to have a little chat about makeup and dating while I do my makeup for a date. Because, I'll give you a vague guide of what I'm doing as well, I guess. That's fun. So, this is a pro-based moisturising primer. I don't know what to do with the mirror. So, up until very recently, had been on 2 first dates in my whole entire life. One of which had led into an 8-year relationship, and one of which led into a year and a bit relationship that overlapped with that because of polyamory, not because of cheating. It wasn't dodgy. So yeah, when they ended, I was then single for the first, I am single for the first time in my adult life. And I wanted to take some time for me and to consider what I want out of things. And I've done that now, and I feel like I didn't figure all that much out, to be honest. So now I want to sort of meet people and see what kind of people I like and just have some nice times with people. And I'm trying to just be very open to things and not block things, but I also don't really want a serious relationship right now. I think I do want to just go on lots of different dates with lots of different people. But as much as I say that, I went on a date on Thursday and immediately asked her out on a second date. She was really fucking nice and I really liked her, but I got super nervous because she was just cool and pretty and interesting, and I just talked at her. So I think I'll be quite lucky if I get a second date. So I've got a date with a man today, and I feel a bit weirded out by it because I had my whole revelation, but then I had some casual sex with a man and realised that maybe I am a little bit into men still after all. So we're seeing what that's like. I'm doing some contour now. I don't do concealer and foundation and stuff because it just makes my face feel cakey and weird. I don't like it. So we're doing contour, and I'm going on a date with a man, and I'm not sure. I don't know exactly how I feel about it, but like I say, I'm just trying to be open-minded and meet people and have nice times. And I enjoyed talking to him on Tinder the little bit that we've spoken. I'm doing all of this through Tinder. I also have a Hinge account, but it's so much more effort to talk to people on Hinge than it is on Tinder, and I quite frankly can't be bothered. I'm just not that in it, you know. But I do have a few messages on there that I should get back to be fair, because they seem like cool people and I want to be meeting cool people. But I do find it very difficult to start and create an actual conversation via messages. Even with people that I've ended up being close friends with and stuff, it's really, really difficult to form the initial conversation. You know, they're hi, it's great to meet you, how are you doing? I'm good, thanks, how are you? Got any plans for the weekend? I don't know how to start an actual talking about ourselves, having a conversation, seeing how we get along over messages. So I am very much just jumping straight to meeting them in person, and it's a bit terrifying, but it's also, I think, quite good for me in some ways. I'm not someone that's encourages people to leave their comfort zone. I think we have comfort zones for a reason, and I like being comfortable and I like being in my comfort zone. And as much as I say that, I think there are times that it's good to push that and step out of your comfort zone and just try new things. But you've only got to do it once, you know? If you don't like it, don't do it again. I also think that as autistic people, we can often tell when we're not going to like something and there's no point doing it in the first place. And people are always oh, you should step out of your comfort zone. And it's but I know I'll hate it. But with this, I was going to say what's the worst that can happen. It's I could get murdered. But you know, if we're not jumping to the most anxiety-ridden extreme that you can go to as a woman, the worst that can happen is it's really awkward and I'm actually, I'm gonna go home, mate. You know? The best that can happen is the next video is a wedding announcement. Imagine if I just eloped after one day. I would, if someone wanted to elope with me after one day, I feel I would just be let's go. Because that's the thing, as much as I'm trying to be chill and cool and just casual dates, I'm a little romantic bitch and I want to fall in love and I want to feel somebody else is falling in love with me. Because my past relationships have felt the other person didn't necessarily like me very much, and I'm just sort of there to stop them from being on their own and do things for them. And I don't want that again. I'm not doing that again. I want someone that's like, see, I want someone that like is an equal obsession, because I'm always like, I want someone that's obsessed with me, and it's like, if I'm not obsessed with them, I'm just gonna get freaked out. Obviously that's how things like that work. I just want a little like mutual obsession of like, this is a good thing, you know. I don't need it to last forever. I don't need it to be like the love of my life, soulmate, twin flame bullshit, but I just want someone that seems like they really genuinely like me and that I actually genuinely really like too. This isn't blending very well today. Looks alright-ish on camera. But I think it has taken me a long time to get to this kind of position with it all, because I'm very like, I want to fall in love, I want everything to be lovely. And it's difficult when you can't form like a conversation online, because like, I could be meeting my like soulmate for twin flame and I'm matching with them because the conversation's awkward after the hi, how are you? I feel like you can also tell that I have no fucking clue what I'm doing with makeup. But it tends to turn out alright for me most of the time, so. I didn't think that I did like overly minimal makeup up until I was with my ex though, because she did like incredible like glamour, bold, like real makeup, you know, and I was like, oh, I really don't wear much makeup when I do wear it, but I feel like there's so many steps and it takes so long to put it all on that it feels like I'm doing like, I feel like I'm doing drag. Like, I know it doesn't look like it, but like I feel like that's the effort that I'm putting in, and then it's just like a really plain natural look that other people could do in like 2 minutes, and I'm like, how? I think I'm just very used to the way that my face looks like without makeup and just in general, so then seeing it with like stuff on it, I'm like, it looks all wrong and weird. But I just sort of like blend at things and poke at shit until I feel okay about it. But yeah, that's why I've gone for this. I'm gonna rebuy this at some point. It just, like, it's a primer, so it does what primers do. It just makes your skin like look really nice and shit, and because I don't really have like issue problem skin anyway, it does everything I need. I just do that, and then my bit of contour so that I have some like shape to my face. I'm really obsessed with having a jawline because I had like a double chin for the vast majority of my life, and I have very little perception of my own face and features, so I don't know if I still do or not, so I'm like, gotta chisel that jaw in. I really shouldn't use my computer screen for it. It's not an accurate representation of real life. I just try and get a bit of colour and look a bit alive and pretty. I don't know. I thought about using a different eyeshadow today because I tend to do the exact same thing every single time, but I can't be bothered. I like what I normally do, okay? So I use the same like, contour thing that I use, which is this. I think it's from Wilkinson's. It's either Wilkinson's or Poundland. I ain't spending money on makeup. And I just use that as an eyeshadow and just like darken up the crease and underneath. And it's very natural and pretty, I think. But yeah, another big thing when it comes to like dating is that I think that my attachment style might have massively switched due to like my last relationship being so toxic and just like the effects of the relationship on me. Because I went into that relationship really being like, sure, my ex was shit, but like other people aren't like him. Like I know that he was abusive and horrible and other people will not be like him. Whereas now, like I really thought my girlfriend was like the sweetest, nicest, loveliest person ever while I was with her. And then afterwards my friends all pointed shit out and I found out more about things that she'd said after the relationship and the like, and realised that it was another quite shitty like situation. I just did not notice at all, did not realise, I just spat. So now I have trust issues, guys. Like I'm very much like doing like casual dating, wanting to go on like first dates, because I'm like, I don't know if I can be like vulnerable with someone again and trust someone to like be there for me, because no one else has been, you know, trusting that someone actually likes me, trusting that someone isn't just using me for what I can provide them with, you know, just showing someone who I actually am and trusting that they're not going to make me feel bad about it in any way. You know, like I already found that difficult to do in the first place because of like my parents and being bullied growing up and all of that, and then being in a relationship that I really genuinely thought was like the best thing to have ever happened to me, that I then realised was actually like not really all that much better than the horrible abusive one. It fucked me up a little. And you know, I do feel like I've like gotten us over it as I'm going to, kind of thing, because I wouldn't be like meeting people and talking to people otherwise, because if someone is the right person, I would want to further pursue that. But I'm scared that I actually wouldn't be able to, and that I would become like that annoying person that just like ghosts as soon as it gets serious, and I really don't want to be that person. But I'm not trying to pursue anything serious right now because of these issues. But I also don't like things being too casual. Like, if things are really casual, I'm just like constantly nervous because I'm like, what is this? What's going on? What do you want? And I don't think I'd cope on that kind of situation. And even though like my last relationship, we like fairly early on said like that we loved each other and I asked her to be my girlfriend and all that, it still felt like a very casual relationship right up until the end. Like, that's a good part of why I broke up with her, was because it's still like we were seeing each other a max of once a week, and it's like, is this a relationship, or are you my friend that sometimes kisses me? Like, but that's the thing, is like having very little experience and then having bad experiences when I feel like I do need to actually meet people and talk to people and like be out in the world in order to actually like fully process it, to understand what I want in the future, to understand like how things are. Like, it feels like a necessary thing to do, you know? This is the bit where I just blend it all and hope for the best. And then instead of using the contour because it's dark, I'm going to try and find something pale, but I don't really have any like light eyeshadows, so I have to use highlighters and shit and just try and go for the ones that aren't too sparkly. I do want to buy some more makeup at some point. I think I do kind of want to get back into wearing a little bit of it, but I also really struggle with it in a sensory way and find it really difficult to actually wear and find the motivation to want to wear. And it's also somewhat like the perception of the way people treat me and see me when I wear makeup, because like it's such like a I already look a lot, I already look like a girl because I am a girl, it's whatever, but you know, like I don't like it when people treat me as like a hyper femme woman. I don't like being treated like a woman, that's what it is. And I already am, but it's all the more so when I do my makeup, and it sucks, but it's also something that I need to get over so that I can do the things that I want to do and enjoy, which I think I would enjoy doing more like fun little makeup things. Like, one of my friends does little like dots in the corners and like under the eyes and shit, and it looks really cool. And I'd like to try some shit like that. But I don't currently have an eyeliner that's not a pencil to do it with. I also think I want to try some like coloured eyeliners, like the liquid coloured eyeliners where people like draw around their eyes and shit. I know all eyeliner like goes around your eyes, but you know when they do like the wiggles like all the way up to the brow bone and shit, I think it looks really cute. Okay, I need to do my eyebrows now. And I have a bit of a complex about my eyebrows. I feel like I've definitely mentioned this in another video, but like any time I did my makeup around my ex, I'd ask her what my eyebrows looked like. Like, are my eyebrows okay? And she'd be like, they would give your face was symmetrical. They're kind of long for your face. Like, there was always something wrong with them, and I was always like, can't really fix that right now. So I have a bit of a thing about my eyebrows, but I never did before, and I actually normally think they're cute, and it's mean. See, that's another big thing though, is that as an autistic person that's only recently fucking made friends for the first time in my life, all of my like tales of the past are either my family that I don't talk to and don't really want to talk about on a date, or my exes. And it's like, you can't really just explain like, oh, so like I spent 8 years with this guy, so most of my stories about my life are going to include him. And he is technically my ex, but we spent like 5 years of the relationship basically just being roommates, so I don't think it's weird. You know, you can't do that. And I have done a little bit of like, oh, my friend, when it's actually my ex. But that makes me feel like a liar. I don't like it. I don't like telling fibs. And that's the other thing that I get concerned about on dates as well, is like, am I actually meeting the person? Because my ex just like massively mirrored me, and you know, like there's always the honeymoon period that people talk about, and I've had so many conversations with my like other neurodivergent friends about how like I don't do that. I don't have like the honeymoon phase. Like, the way that I am at the start of a relationship and the way that like I just am is the way that I am. Like, it doesn't change. And it really weirds me out when other people get like 3 months into a relationship and become a different fucking person. So that makes me super nervous, because it's like, I might really like someone right now. Are they still going to be the same person once they're comfortable with me? Because like, I'm aware that like I definitely change my accent and talk a little bit posher when I'm on dates and shit. Like, there's definitely, you know, everyone tries to make a good first impression, I understand that. But the way that people can straight up be like a completely different person after a few months has been wild to me, and I've really seen it like lately, and it spooks me. People scare me is what we're getting at here. Do my eyebrows look the same? Hi.
You all fine?
Yeah.
There you go.
Got a date.
Oh, with the guy! The
Yeah.
Mr. Challenge guy.
See, I just blend shit until I don't feel bad about myself. And I just use one of the dark ones from this palette that this mirror's from to do eyeliner. See, if I did an actual line and I fucked it up, you'd be able to tell, but because I haven't done an actual line, I've blended it out. Can't tell shit. But yeah, the person that I'm going on a date with today is probably the longest conversation that I've had on a dating app. And he's interesting, he seems cool, he seems funny. You know, at the very least, I think I will have a nice little time. Have I actually told you what we're doing? We are gonna grab a coffee on Lark Lane, which I've been suggesting that like all of my dates happen on Lark Lane because I feel all fun and happy inside, because Dan and Diane in Doctor Who went on a date on Lark Lane, and my little city that I live in is in my favourite show. That like my mum drove me to Cardiff to go on the tour when I was 14, and now I can suggest dates within walking distance on a street from my favourite little special interest show, and I find it very fun. Am I dating just because I can feel like I'm living in Doctor Who? I don't want to answer that. Then we curl the eyelashes. This is my least favourite part because I've seen loads of videos of people literally pulling them out, but I've been curling my eyelashes for 14 years and I've never had anything bad happen, so bite me. Like, to be fair, I do it like once every 3 months now, but I used to do this multiple times a day in high school. I was really obsessed with my eyelashes not pointing down. Why was that? You know what also annoys me though is that, like, don't get me wrong, I know that I don't actually have to do all this stuff to go on a date. I am very like, people should just like me for me, or I don't want to spend time around you anyway. But also, I feel like, you know, this is half and half. Like, I think it's fun. Like, it's the point of dating is that I'm having fun and meeting people, and I find it fun to have like my little like girly half hour before, like I'm doing my makeup and I'm getting ready, I'm doing my hair, like it's just fun. But it also, like, when I actually think about it, I am like, I'm doing this to try to impress someone and make a good first impression, which is nice and fine. You should do that on a date. Like, it shows a level of like respect and care for the other person straight off the bat because you care about their perception and stuff. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing, but doing it for a man, I am like, he's not gonna do this. Like, there's like, and not as like as though he's a shitty man, but like there's it weirds me out that there's no expectation for men to do anything beyond like make sure their hair and outfit are decent. Like, they don't have to fuck around with their faces and paint shit onto their eyelashes and oof. And again, I know I don't have to, but there's a lot of times that it feels like in society I am expected to. Especially when I've done job interviews. I do my makeup for that, I hate that. Like, this is fun because it is, as much as like I'm doing it to impress a man, it is also for me. Like, I think this is fun, I'm enjoying this, I feel good about myself. Like, it is predominantly for me. But when I'm doing it for job interviews, like, that is purely for like some dickhead that's already got a job that's gonna judge me and decide whether or not I should get to work there, and that enrages me. And like, it's not always men, but I have in my entire life had like one interview with another woman, and I've had quite a lot of job interviews. I just never get the jobs. See, I put mascara on my lower lash line and I just pull it off, and I feel like that like leaves them black without adding any like volume or like anything. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to makeup. I just try my best. It just adds an extra little bit of darkness that I think makes me look pretty. Today's one of those days where I'm just like, my eyes are such different shapes and sizes. like I know that faces aren't symmetrical, but I have some days where I'm just like, my eyes are like extra not symmetrical today. Bleh. Highlighter is what we're doing next. We're doing a highlight. What kind of highlighter do I want to do? Maybe a pinky toned one would be fun for today, actually. I never used the pink one. I've literally only used this pink highlighter for my Pathfinder fucking makeup that I did when I was a little elf. I'm not on the fae, like a bard fae. It's a whole thing. I talked about it in my last video if you want to check that out. But yeah, just a little bit of highlight on the cheeks and on the tip of my nose and a bit of my lips. And then I keep a lip balm in my coat pocket that I will put on because I really don't like the texture and feel of lipstick on my mouth. And this is my date makeup done. I'm gonna... Is it dry enough? I'm gonna leave my hair for another like 10 minutes and then run some oil through it and shit. But I will come back and show you like my completely finished date look, I guess, in a few minutes. See you soon. Here's the finished look, but I really need to go or I'm going to be late. That's the hair, it's the makeup, I think I look cute. This is the outfit. I've put so much shit on my jacket. I've got a fucking mouse. I've got fucking Jim and Laszlo and buttons, and I'm trying to make myself feel like a person.